Chapter 1, Dream It Is. Why do you get what you don't want? The reason you are probably reading this book is to achieve a certain goal or dream. It may be one, or you could be having a number of them. Congratulations. It is the first and major step. One of the strangest truths in life is that you cannot achieve what you do not know. You cannot get what you do not expect. I often say that only expectant mothers deliver. This is true in the visible as in the invisible realms of life. To expect is to get. On your journey to success, you must first of all get clear about what success really means to you. The key word here is clear. That is the starting point towards living your dream. It means that you must have that dream in the first place before you set out to achieve it, or else you will achieve whatever may be clear in your mind, whether it is your dream or nightmare. It is that simple. And didn't I warn you that it is going to be really simple? In case I didn't, now you know. It is often amazing how simple the path to success can be, and yet many people ignore it. Others postpone. We call it procrastination. Others take time to think about it. I remember a speaker, one of my all-time classic speakers, Jim Rohn, said in one of his talks, "Whatever is easy to do is also not easy to do." I agree. And that is why we see more people failing to do them. They are simply failures. Failing to do is a failure. Easy to do, easy not to do. The choice, therefore, is yours, to do or not to. As much as possible, ensure you are absolutely clear about what you want. Otieno Paul Peter.
You may already know this, that people often get things they do not want more often than they get those things they want, and they keep wondering why. There is no need to wonder why, rather wonder why not. The reason I'm saying this is that the formula for achieving that which you do not want is not any different from the one for achieving what you want, only that it is simpler. Nature has it that way. And most of the time, it is the same old ignorance that we tolerate that causes us to keep getting the same result. Thank God that from today onwards, you are going to discover this great secret. Actually, it is not really a secret. It is a secret to those who had not discovered it. Ignorance is the greatest liability of mankind. You are now fighting it ruthless. And I can assure you that your success is within reach. And in this fight, I want to repeat, if you are not really sure about where you're going, you have a higher chance of getting there. You can even ask for direction along the way. Not very true for the opposite scenario. If you do not know where you're going, you can't get there. A way will always be created if it does not. Okay. A way will always be created if it does not really exist, but only those who are clear about where they're going. You do not have to know how it is going to happen. Neither do you have to know the direction to where you want to go in order to start. It is not your part. Your work is to be crystal clear about where you want to go, the person you want to become, and what you want your life to be. Be sure of your dream and make it clear. Our inner world creates the outer world, that is Ika. In the book of Habakkuk in the Bible, God tells us the prophet God tells the prophet to write his vision down and make it clear in order that whoever reads it may get it clearly. In fact, in another version, it says, so that whoever sees it may run. What excites me in this is the word run. It is the same stuff we are talking about, the capacity to understand it readily and get excited about it.
If only I know where I'm going, then no one will hold my loin. For in my favor, even the winds will blow, and to achieve it, my ability will grow, so long as I know where I'm going. Yes, success in many ways is like a journey. Whenever we set out to go to a particular destination, we are very clear and precise about every detail, including the time we expect to reach there, the means of transport, and everything else. We keep our focus on our destination, no matter what happens along the way. And thus, we more often than not tend to reach where we had set out to go. That's the same way we achieve anything we want. Success, in many ways, is like a journey. Brian Tracy. When I was in Form 4, final year in secondary school, preparing for my final exam that would qualify me for a degree course, through the talks and discussions with one of the tutors who was serving as an untrained teacher in our school because he was still in the university and studying something else, not leading to education, I developed an interest in one of our higher learning public institutions. It was, and still is, the best and largest higher learning institution in our country. I was so enthusiastic about it that I kept saying to myself, Mimi naenda jiji, I am going to the city. When talking about which university I would join, it was clear in my mind. In my Form 4, it was obvious that I had to study the secondary school syllabus all over again because I was just rejoining school after over a year out of school and did not have any book brought forward from my previous schooling. But still, I managed to qualify for the entry into the university. And part of the reason is I was clear about where I was headed. What you resist persists. Law of non-resistance. In this book, you're going to get many examples, but the best example should come from you. Start evaluating yourself and everything that ever happened to you. Reflect back and start collecting your thoughts, how it played in your mind before it happened, and the feeling you had. Believe me or not, this is something I have learned with pain and awe. We tend to get what is inherent in our hearts. We always achieve what we know and are clear about, good or bad. Ever notice that a great majority of people tend to get more of what they do not want than what they want? If not, start checking now. Start where you are. Start with yourself. Unless you're already successful as you'd like to be, you most likely are experiencing the nightmare. Today, and in this chapter, I want to give you the very reason such funny things happen. It is the same reason we have more weeds than crops in the fields. The reason we have more diseases than drugs. This is the root cause of all ills and all beauty. Whatever you do not use, you lose. Law of use and disuse. The reason almost all personal growth coaches tell you to write goals is hinged on this principle. Not everyone may realize it, including the teachers themselves, but I thank God for this revelation. I kept looking till I got it. Your mind is the center of your whole being. Whatever happens in your life on the outside has a direct relationship with what happens in your life from within. This is a fundamental truth and indisputable. I am a scientist and I have come to appreciate it. If you have to remember one thing from this book, remember the statement I highlighted above and instill it in your mind. Remember the statement as many times as will be necessary for you to understand it absolutely. Because therein lies everything upon which our discussion shall proceed. What it means is, till now, you have been creating your life as you go along. You are the author of the exact life situation and circumstances you find yourself involved in. If I am the first to break this news to you, I'm very sorry. Sorry if it offends you, but very happy if it makes you happy and empowers you. Either way, it is the truth, and as you probably already know, it is the truth that sets you free, nothing else. Notice that my purpose is to assist you to be free in order that you may live your dream, that you may succeed. Whatever we persistently hold in our minds, that we shall hold in our hands. When I had done my Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examination, I knew that I was going to pass. That was not a problem. I knew I would get a calling letter to a good school. That was not a problem either. But I was not clear about which school I wanted to go to. I was instead clear about which school I did not want to join. That was our village school where I had done most of my primary schooling, Hindu Muslim school. Guess what? I could not avoid going there. I got what I hated with passion, but what was very clear in my mind. If you check in your life, you most likely have a similar story. You either got the school you really wanted or the one you really resisted. Why? And how do I know this? It's because of the law of non-resistance. Whatever you resist, persists. In the Bible, the scripture says, resist not evil and win evil by good. This could be why. And just like I was so clear about which university I wanted to be in, all the rest were therefore clouded and never given mental space. I got it. At this point, it is good to reiterate that an anonymous author once said, no thought resides in your mind rent-free. It is true. I would be excited whenever I thought about the University of Nairobi and imagining myself part of that great institution. Actually, I can pinpoint almost everything in my life and how I attracted it. You too should be able to. I will relate to you more as we continue. For now, what you need to know is that you will always get what you are clear about, what is in your mind, what is your dream, what is your dream? What life do you want for yourself? Are you able to make it so clear in your mind that if you gave someone such an order to go bring it, if it were possible to do so, he or she would deliver it to you without a mistake? If so, you have covered the major part of living your dream. You are more likely to achieve it. Again, learn to get out of your mind what you do not want. Do not concentrate on them. Do not imagine them. Never give them mental space. They will grow into reality. Your mind is a double-edged sword. It gives you what you do not want just as readily as what you want. You only need to know how to make good use of it. If you do not want to be married in Kabwatch, for example, stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Just identify where you want to be married and concentrate your thoughts on that with power and imagination. And the more you apply this knowledge, the better you become at it, and the more excited life becomes. You should now be happy that you are taking control of your life and mastering your destiny, aren't you? Remember the law of use and disuse? It matters not how straight the gate, How charged with punishment the scroll? I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Invictus.
Okay, thank you very much and Happy New Year. And I'm sorry I could not join you over the weekend, but I saw that it went on very, very well. So actually two things, I'm actually, as you are reading, I was also going through the book.
Lynette.
Just as evidence. So the analogy that you read on when you're going for a trip and you plan for it very well and you make sure you go there. And I was just thinking in my head, even when I'm going back in the village in Migori, and I'm coming from Nairobi, the way I always plan for it and I go and I'm sure that I will reach wherever I'm going. And I really like that analogy that even in our lives, as we're planning to do something, when we're very clear about where we're going, we put our focus on it and we go for it. Wherever we're going for a trip, whether it is going to work, to Mombasa, out of the country, we plan for it and we put everything in place. So I think that is very encouraging. I just want to disagree a bit with the title where you say, why do you get what you don't want? And instead say, why do you get what you dream of? Because I think towards the end of the chapter, you say that when you think of something, you are most likely to get what you think about. So I like the encouragement that when you, as much as possible, try to think so much of what you want rather than what you don't want, because it is true. What is in the mind is what becomes. So maybe that is what I can say for now.
For me, I think the key word there is journey and success. I've never looked at it that way, that the way you put it there, that success and the journey are related. Your journey in life, in your profession, in your family has everything to do with how you've organized yourself, whether how you're focused, how you're committed. And all that is like a train coming from SGR from Nairobi to Mombasa. How have you prepared yourself for that journey? It reminds me of a quote I read in one of the foreign media about one of, I think Prince Charles, so one of those royal members of the royal family, who traveled for a long distance just to get to where he was going. And then when he arrived, he asked the driver, or chauffeur, they call them chauffeur, that yes, now I'm here. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Then he was told what it was. They said, oh, okay, all right. Can you imagine? So I think for us, as we focus on success, let us continue to look at it as something that it's a journey that we have to, like a bicycle, we keep on pedaling.
There's just a very interesting observation I'm seeing there, but I think you have also even have a quote there that whatever you resist, persist. Remember, I think you are resisting some local school there, and it actually persisted until that is where you went to. So, and I'm thinking even in life, when and that is also life, when you are, whatever you are resisting, always, maybe you are resisting meeting some man, and that man is the one that is persisting around you, and vice versa. And I was even thinking now the way I need money, I need to resist money so that it persists around me. So I don't know. I don't know what I think this. I don't know. Maybe sometimes there are some things you really want. Maybe I don't know whether, in your view, based on what you are writing there, we need to resist them so that they persist. Or maybe I've seen a nice lady whom I think can be a partner. Maybe I should persist. I should resist them so that they persist. You know. Yeah, but I think it's just like the first person who was commenting there, trying to figure out how the topic was and the content, and then I think you already said that it was deliberate. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, what you resist persists, it's a law. There is a book I came across called The 11 Forgotten Laws. And you know, being a physicist, I love laws. I tend to study them better, and they tend to communicate to me much, much better. So, there are a number of laws, and I've just talked about there are 11 forgotten laws. So, that is one of them. What you resist persists. And by the way, I'm kidding you not. This is the way people are getting COVID. This is the way people are getting COVID because they are resisting it. But that one we'll discuss as we go along. So what you resist persists. I've met people who are telling me I did everything I was supposed to do. I don't know how I got it. Yes, because you are resisting it. What you resist persists. It's a law.
Wonderful insights. Wonderful insights. I think I like the topic. Why you get what you don't want, and like you said, you know, quote, we are told that bad news sells, and that's why newspapers always concentrate on those sensational headlines. Okay, I'm not saying that your topic is bad, no, but you know, mostly when people see something bad, they want to dig further. And I like that the analogy that what is you constantly think about is what you get, which is pretty true. And I remember one of these preachers who said that, you know, most in some of the evangelical churches, the moment you go there, you hear most of them spending a lot of time condemning the devil, the devil, the devil, the devil. And somebody was saying, instead of using a lot of energy condemning the devil, then use that energy to praise Jesus. You know, that just came out, and I can see it is coming out very well. Then there's a statement you said that as long as you are clear of where you are going, you don't worry where that is. And it has reminded me the time when I was importing my car and I had to go to Mombasa. You know, for us as a person with a disability, it's a long process. I have to go to the port. I have to drive it. It has to be modified. So I received a letter from KRA and I was told your car is in Mombasa and it is in a CFS called Boss Freight. Where on earth that one was, I didn't know. All I knew is that I wanted to go to Boss Freight. And so when we landed in Mombasa, I just, you know, Mombasa, there are very many tuk-tuks. I just got one of that. I just want to go to Boss Freight. And within minutes, I was there. So, but because I was very clear of where I wanted. So the rest did not make a lot of sense, which is very, very, very nice. I like it. Then I think finally is, I'm looking at what we've discussed today, like the analogy of the half full and half empty glass. More or less the same thing. So it is like, if you think more of what you don't want, you will get. In the same way, if you think more of what you want, you will get it. So the question is, which one do I want to concentrate more on? Although there could be a bit of variation, but I'm also trying to relate to that I need to occupy my mind more of what I want and not what I don't want. And I also, just to give you another example, and how true this one is that the car that I drive now, which Paul Peter, you know it, bado niko nayo. Before, when I saw that car landed into Kenya, I told myself, I liked the car, I fell in love with it, and I told myself, I want this to be my first car. And every time I would go to a showroom, of course, that time I was still tarmacking, I would go to a showroom and they tell me, this is the car that I want. And I would get in and I would ask questions like a person who is buying, and then I'll tell them, at the end of it, I'll come back. And that thing really stuck into my mind. And 8 years after I saw that car, and I told myself, this is what I want to buy. 8 years later, I got it, and I still have it, and I'm okay with it. So I think it's just to tell yourself, this is what I want, stick to it, and you will get there. It doesn't matter how long, but as long as you're clear of where you want to go, then you're going to get there. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Murithi. Yeah. Staying crystal clear about what we want is the biggest challenge that we have. And that's why many people tend to focus more on their fears This is actually the root cause of fear, because we tend to focus more. And I love the angle you're bringing about people who talk about demon, devil, and all these things. I personally don't like those meetings, those discussions, because I know you are spending energy into something that is negative. It is as a man thinketh in his heart, not in his mind. And how do you know that it is in your heart? Because you can feel it in your emotions. You can have it, you can feel it in your emotions. And so, why is this discussion important right now? We are starting the year, and many of us usually think that the year is going to be good by accident. It's never an accident. It's always good by design. And the design that we have is what was given to us by God himself. And that's why we can quote it right from the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart. And even when we are praying, we are told to pray giving thanks for what we believing that we have already received that which we want. So thank you very much. Somebody else wants to give a comment?
I wanted to, well, early this year, I was listening to a podcast by Pastor R.C. Blakes, and it was about having a contract with yourself and making a contract with yourself. And I found it extremely useful, the points that are there. The first one, it starts with a statement and then a confession. The first one is, I am managing my present to manifest my future. So I can't have a goal, and yet I'm not working towards that goal in the tiny things that I'm doing today. For example, I can't think about having thousands in the bank, but I'm not saving the shillings that I have today. Yes, so I pay attention to the nickels and the dimes of today, so that, you know, after some time they will turn into dollars. I'm managing my life for optimum outcomes. I will manage my nickels until they become dimes. What I am doing today is creating the tomorrow I deserve. Then the second point is, I am only competing with the best version of me. I think that one of the most difficult things about achieving our goals is trying to be like somebody else, because we are unique. We are made in the image of likeness of God, and we are completely special. There's no one like us, and there'll never be anyone like us, and our purpose is as unique as our fingerprint. So I'm doing myself a very big disservice by comparing myself with someone else. So I'm not responsible for other people's expectations of me, and I am not intimidated by other people's rise or shine. I celebrate them while focusing on me. And the third one is, I will not expect people to promote me, because it's only God who is my promoter. And I am God's child. That is the highest identity you can have, knowing that you're a child of God. No one can block what God has designed for me. And he is my source. So there's no need of bootlicking anybody in order to get a promotion. Whatever is my destiny, according to the way I live today in the will of God, then my destiny will be there. The fourth one is, I'm no longer forcing futile relationships. And with somebody had mentioned earlier before that, because I know that many women are in relationships or married to men who are exactly like their fathers, even when they hated their fathers. So that thing of whatever you resist will persist. If you want to meet an emotionally healthy person, you yourself have to be emotionally healthy. For example, many women are attracted to emotionally unavailable men or men who are in addiction, because that's how their father was. But once you get emotionally healthy, then you'll be attracted to somebody who's emotionally healthy, and you'll form a relationship. So God will deliver you from relationship addiction, most likely through therapy and all that. But I found that writing a contract with yourself is very important. Because whenever you write a contract about your goals, then you'll have that like accountability factor. And another thing is that sometimes the journey is more pleasant than actually arriving. I don't know if anybody else has that experience, that you get really positive emotions when you work towards a goal, for example, towards a degree, towards any kind of certificate. And getting the certificate is kind of like an anticlimax. I don't know. It seems like the journey is more pleasurable than actually attaining the item. And yeah, so those are some of the things I wanted to share. Yeah, and the resisting is also very true. Whatever you resist will persist. Many women, I'll speak for women, they write a list of things that they do not want, which is very dangerous in a partner. And many times, because they're not healed emotionally, they're actually attracted to those very same things. And when somebody is emotionally healthy and is treating them well, when they grew up with a lot of abuse and neglect, they find that they're attracted to abusive and emotionally unavailable men. And when somebody is giving them a lot of attention, somebody emotionally healthy is giving them a lot of attention, they are repelled because that is not familiar. So we tend to be attracted to what is familiar rather than what is good for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're right. And this is a fundamental truth. Another way of saying it is what you focus on expands, and what you expect you get, because only expectant mothers deliver. You cannot get something that one way to get something is to expect it, and this one goes into answering what Joshua was talking about in terms of money. And by the way, I'm talking about the truth that I live every single day, because I know how to do it, only that it needs effort. Sometimes you get derailed, you get to defocus, and there is a question that Maurice has also brought there. So let me give you some few examples, some of the things that people, and Anthony gave us a very good example also. And by the way, when he talks about a vehicle, I remember I did the same. I identified the vehicle I wanted, I fell in love with it, I put it on my screen so that I see it all the times, and I would feel how I'll be driving it home and coming back towards my Mayu and whatever. And it came to pass. When I was brought that vehicle by the person who was importing it for me, it was exactly how it was played in my mind. My daughter is in Kenya High. Many people ask me, how did you get it? That's the very same formula, And this is what I teach people even when it comes to passing exams. I told her, you tell me which school you want. I did not even know what Kenya High is, by the way. I did not even know about it. I had never heard of it. In fact, in my mind, I had gone to Starehe Girls using some through Rotary. And so that was the only thing that was in my mind. So when I asked her, when we were filling those forms, she talked about Kenya High. I asked their principal, is Kenya High a good school? He said, yeah, it's a very good school and very competitive. Maybe you need to write other schools because that one, very many people will be competing for it. I don't buy such a story. So I said, okay, then that is the one we are going to. I told her, write it down. And we wrote it. Of course, in the form, you have to write others, but I told her, never think about anything else. We will think about Kenya High. And then I went there. We went there with her. A few times we were blocked from getting in because it was not school session. But I wanted her to have that vision. And by the way, I was told by many people, she needs to be the top in the division and what, needs to be the whatever. She was not even top in their school, but she went there. To cut the long story short. You see, now, everything, including where I stay, everything, including the life I live today, every little thing, at least when I started thinking about it logically, in a way that I understand it, I create them. I will think about the money I want to earn this week. There is a level I've not reached because I keep practicing. But whenever I'm living that life or straining the life I don't want, I ask myself, why do I do this to me? Then I go back. Yes, I start reading myself and rediscovering myself, and I manifest. Right. So success is a journey, Dr. Eda. It's a journey. You've said it rightly. It is not the destination. We've got to enjoy the journey. It will thrill you better when you are moving towards where you are going than reaching there. You reach there, you want to do your class 8 and get a pass exam. You do it and you feel like it's really not as exciting. You start looking, and this is why many people do not live their dreams. They are always in pursuit. They always think they are going to enjoy it when they reach the destination. No, you must enjoy the journey. You must get excited about the journey. And that is where the thrill is. And focus on the journey, not the destination. Focus on the journey, mileage as you are moving on towards your destination. Ensure you enjoy the journey. And this one, where can you apply it? It includes healing. And this will amaze you, but it's exactly what I do even when I'm praying for people. When I say I'm going to pray for you, somebody is sick. My prayer form is, I talk about you getting well, and I visualize you getting well with feelings and emotions. I tried this unknowingly. Long time ago, I visited somebody in the hospital, one of our choir members, when I was back at home, and I really felt touched by this lady. She was not feeling, she was in a bad state, and I was one of the leaders for choir. I really felt for her, and I started visualizing and praying and asking she should be out. And I think the following day or the 2 days later, she was out, and I was surprised how it happened. And I've applied this on my children. When the babies are sick, my visual image is they are getting better, they'll be better, and I visualize them getting better. That's the way it works. And you can apply it on everything, whatever you're doing. And because we are more inclined towards negative, we keep thinking negative and we are worried. And this is the way even parents make their children sicker. What if something, it's getting bad, let's look for a doctor, and you are worried and you keep bringing all the negatives into your life. Going back to what Maurice was asking, negatives come from what we read, what we watch, what we think, what we listen to. So we must control, and that's why I don't watch news. That's why I don't read negative news all the time. If I even have WhatsApp groups that post a lot of threats and all those things. I engage what time of the day I'm going to read them. And after reading them, how do I detoxify? At the end of this book, there is a chapter, not at the end, but somewhere thereabout towards the end, there is a chapter for detox. It's called 7 Ds for a reason. So this first one is called dream. And this is where we set the pace. So it is focusing on remember, you can always know when you are focusing on the negative because you feel it in your heart. You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel terrible. You're going to feel a lot of fear and things like that. So you want to feel positive you want to focus on the positive, and you will know you are focusing on the positive because you feel good. You feel relaxed. And even when you are praying for somebody and you are still not feeling relaxed, your prayer is in vain. And this is why Jesus kept telling them, peace, be still, fear not, do not fear. Why? Because if we are not at peace, we are not going to achieve it. That is very important for us. So this year, as we are starting the year, let's get to know, like Dr. Eda has talked about, people listing what they don't want, and they wonder why they get them. Because you ask somebody, whom do you want to marry? They will tell you all the things they don't want. I don't want somebody who smokes. I don't want somebody who drinks. I don't want somebody who is abusive. And that is what gets into their mind. That's what they confess. They are going to get it. So what you need to know is, I want somebody who is this. I want somebody who is this. I want somebody who is this. It gets into your mind. And that's the way you pray. When you pray, don't focus on Lord, protect us from accidents, protect us from diseases, protect us. Because when you say disease, when you say protect, you don't see. It doesn't form an image. The image that comes to your mind is disease. The image that comes is accident. The image that comes is all that trouble. So let's say what we want. We want to reach safe. And this is something I also do when I'm praying for my journey. I visualize myself reaching there, greeting those people, having fun where I'm going. And this is why we are using the analogy of a journey. When you are traveling to Mombasa, you will not focus on Titwandei. You will not focus on what if an accident happens in Machakos Turnoff. And even if you had a puncture there, you will be working on it because your mind is focused on your destination. Thank you.